This is Fight Fans Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is realDWC, aka David Carroll, and that's the way I like saying it. I know it should be verse versa or vice versa, David Carroll, aka realDWC, but when I'm on the show, I'm definitely the real DWC. So that's all I want to say. With everyone listening live, thank you very much, and everyone who listens to this show after, for whatever reasons. Man, we are in for one of the best episodes ever. I just have this feeling about tonight, and we've been talking about this for a while since we found out, us and Fight Fans Radio and my girl Erica on the other side, and we have just good feelings about this, so we're pretty pumped up about tonight. Unfortunately, Jerowell P is not in the building. No jokes this time. He is literally not here tonight. I made him go train. I gave him the night off. I said, you got to hit the gym, brother. He's got an MMA fight coming up June 1st, so he has no time to be playing around and not be focusing. All right, no excuses for him. So he's in the gym. We all wish him good training and good luck. And man, we got some big things happening, so stay tuned for that. Everybody listening right now, man, there's this new grappling organization called Five. And before that, I wish everyone luck at the Ontario Open. It's this weekend. Registration is closed, but everyone that did register, good luck. I know there's 10 trips to the Worlds, all paid for, so man, everyone competing in that is going to be amazing. We're on to the Ontario 1 by Five. It's a new company, and let me tell you right now that this might be hands down the biggest tournament I've ever seen brought to the Ontario region. If anyone's close to around that area, it's in Brampton, which is close to Toronto, so anyone from America, I'm telling you right now, this is something all North America should be excited about. I'm sure they'll make their way around. Aside from all the free stuff they're giving and obviously big belts and medals and all that, they have a super seminar with Marcelo Garcia and Janji Ribeiro. They also have super fights with Keenan Cornelius versus Thomas Beach, past guest of ours, amazing guy from Toronto BJJ. We have Darson Hemmings, who was just on our show a little while ago. He's from Open Mat in Toronto. He'll be fighting Johnny Grippo, another past guest, and amazing. And actually, Keenan was also. And then that's going to be one of the best super fights possible. And then they have Michael Lira Jr. versus Arthur Chandra Medahan. I apologize. I know I probably butchered his name, but everyone in this area knows who these guys are. And on the big scene, they know the Americans for sure. So it's going to be kind of like a Toronto versus America or Canada versus America type thing going on with that. So this is all brought to you by the same grappling company, Five, which is going to be ridiculous, unreal. So can't wait to see what's going to happen out of that. Copa Podio just happened this past weekend. My prediction was correct. Leandro Lowe did end up winning the whole lightweight GP. Man, just a phenomenal how good he's been getting and continuously growing as an athlete. So it'll be cool to see what's next for him. Also, Janji beat Baralio Estima in one of the best super fights I've seen in a while. And man, when is he going to slow down? That's what I'm wondering. I know he's been on top of the game since, man, as long as I could remember. I look back in the history books and his name's everywhere still. So, I mean, he's been doing this so damn long and at a high level. So it's amazing. Hats off to him. Damn. It's just insane to think about. So, you know, Baralio also has a huge super fight coming up at Metamoris. We're in talks of getting someone on the show that's competing at this event. And, you know, it's not who you think it would be. So if we get him on, it'd be pretty damn cool. Small little iced coffee break. Ooh, this is going to be good. So if anybody wants to get us to announce something like we just did the 5 grappling, I did that just out of sheer excitement, and I love it. So obviously I'll announce things that I care about or seem cool or cover an event that's big in the world of BJJ. But if you have an event that we may not catch a breeze of or hear about and you would like us to announce it on air live, send us an email at bjjaddicttv@gmail.com. We will check those emails, and that way we can get in the show. At the start, we always save the first 10 minutes for a little banter between me and Jeroel. And basically we talk about what happened in the week of BJJ and kind of like announce some things and talk about the UFC. So, you know, I'd much rather talk about what's going on amongst the BJJ community. So if you have anything coming up, a big fundraiser, grappling tournament, send us an email. And at the start, I don't mind. We'll get this going. We'll start changing our start of the shows to announcing things and going over matches and stuff. So, yeah, bjjaddicttv@gmail.com if anyone wants to announce anything. That would be great. And speaking of announcing, past guest, Daniel Koval, you know, I saw his Facebook that he is going to be making his own DVD series, and that's pretty exciting. I don't know about you guys, but on our Facebook for BJJ Addict TV, we actually asked people if they were willing to pay, you know, a little bit less for maybe someone named, not named Marcelo Garcia or Janji Ribeiro or, you know, the Mendez brothers, whoever, like not at that crazy level. And we got a lot of cool responses, you know, and I asked people to name some people that people would love to see DVDs from that perhaps don't have any out. That's the main thing. Who's not out there that people want to see? And it's crazy. A lot of people were naming some brown belts, which just shows you how high level the sport has grown to. You know, people like Kit Dale were named, the Adamsons brothers, Zach and Nathan. Who else was named? Pete Willingham. Man, Quentin Vinson, Dara O'Connell. People want to see Grippo, Marco Terragrossa, Justin Rader was named. Man, a lot of crazy high level people, and I think this would be awesome to start seeing a little bit, you know, a little bit less in the price column, but just the same amount as details and instruction. And I would love to start learning from some people outside of the, you know, the famous top dogs who basically have this game on lock right now. So everybody out there, I think there is a market for perhaps a lot of more instructionals to be put out, maybe just at a lesser cost. I don't think hundreds of dollars is the way to go. My personal opinion. If you disagree, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and I love to spark conversations and kind of get everyone's mind flowing. So don't be shy to come on there and talk about with us. So very soon, I'd say, you know, maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes, we'll give Mike a call and get this great interview started. And for those that don't understand, a little backdrop, he posted on his Facebook, basically an open letter to everyone, pretty much kind of discussing his situation at this exact moment. And, I read it and I was blown away. I was, damn, man, is this really happening to such a great guy and someone who's, been basically promoting the sport all over for a while now? I mean, his name is pretty well known. So, basically for people that don't know, we're going to get him to tell his story, but he did write a nice story on Facebook about having a non-for-profit non-for-profit for kids out in his North Shore in Hawaii. He set this all up. He got the funding, and then basically it's all been ripped away from him due to this Lloyd Urban scandal or situation. I don't think I really want to call it a scandal like that back. So due to the Lloyd Urban situations and just the news that kept breaking news, and his name's all over the place. So, everyone knows that he was a past student, but it seems like he's got the short end of the stick on this one. And basically it seems like everything has been taken right from under him. So all these hard years of work he's put in, growing the kids and adults, and the donations and everything. We're basically trying to get out here and get some help going. So this should be a huge episode today. Hello? Okay. Oh. Sorry about that, guys. Misunderstanding. But if you guys have the chance, please go read this letter. And basically the rest of the show, we'll be talking to him about this and the future, see what's going on with him and some future goals he wants. And also we'll find out how we could help out. And, if anyone has questions or, they want to ask Mike or Tracy, basically you could email northshorebjj@gmail.com. That's northshorebjj@gmail.com. And they'll basically able to answer more questions for you if you do, especially after listening to this episode. If you still have some things that are unclear or whatnot, then go ahead and ask, and it'll be pretty clear and concise. Also, please go to BJJ ADDICT TV. I would love for you guys to check it out. We have a lot of interesting discussions going on. Other than that DVD, I asked people who they thought the greatest American grapplers of all time were, and this really sparked interest to people. And then I said, be more specific. Who is number one right now? And it's crazy. And I mean, right at this current state. And the answers were pretty amazing. A lot of people were back and forth and saying, no, this person's number one. And basically, Mike Fowler, I guess, coming up, he was named. And he wasn't named just by anyone. He was named by Jeff Glover. He came on, listed his top 5, and he put Fowler in. So that really says something when you got another guy who I consider one of the best ever, especially American grapplers. And we'll just read some out real quick. What's shocking, actually? Number one right now, through everyone, it seems people got Lovato Jr. Right up there, number one. And concise, people naming the youngsters still, you got Keenan being mentioned, and, he hasn't even reached the black belt yet. So that says something. BJ Penn, I know it's been a while since he's accomplished something, but no one can ever forget what he's done in the sport of BJJ. But the famous five right now seems to be that keep popping up would be like Bill Cooper, Jeff Glover, Ryan Hall, Dean Lister, Rafael Lovato Jr. Obviously, Fowler got named around there. But it seems like those are the constant names that kept popping up. So if you got a different say or you agree, come on down. See, JT Torres got thrown in there. I mean, he's hard to argue that he's not one of the best American grapplers. So we'll have to go check that out, everyone. So if you have a chance. So guys, be patient. We'll be live with Mike Fowler very soon. I cannot wait. Also, for upcoming episodes, if anyone has questions they would like to ask. Hello?
Hey, there we go.
Mike, welcome to BJJ ADDICT Radio. You are live. I'm the host, realDWC. So, are you ready to get into this?
Hey, yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Before you came on, I was just saying how, me and my producer, Erica, we read your letter on Facebook, and it was really touching. And, I think people assume just because your name holds weight in the sport that everything seems to be a lot easier for you, or maybe it's better off than the average person that does BJJ, but it was really an eye-opener to see that everybody is kind of in the same boat in life, and especially the jiu-jitsu community,
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, you would think the name would carry weight, but it only carries weight with people who are already established and have a gym, in a sense. People who are just starting out, or people, when you're getting students, they don't know you from the next guy. I mean, they're not. Most of them aren't involved. Now, I do actually have I believe my name does give me a longer pool. Like I do pull people from all over the island that they'll travel an hour to come train. But yeah, no, I mean it's 100%. It's I would say it's a nobody can have a great gym as long as they're providing a great service. Their customers like them, or the students like them, and it doesn't matter how good you are, if you can't hold the class properly, no one's going to show up.
Absolutely, I agree. In this interview, if you don't mind, I would like to just talk about that situation to start. Maybe you could explain to people what your letter said, and then we could basically just get into how people can help out, especially the BJJ community. Maybe people don't know about this yet, and I think that'd be a great way to start. I think if people are listening to your interview, we already know, a lot of your backstories. You don't need to rehear a lot of that. Maybe we could just start off with that, what your letter did say.
Well, I don't have it in front of me exactly, but pretty much what I tried to do was I wanted to give people a background on exactly what we've been trying to do and what we've been going through. It's not like we just, it's been like a month or two. We've had like a struggle since we've moved to the North Shore of Hawaii to get this gym going and, to be able to offer the program that we do. And, it's like we'll get a little bit of headway, and then we'll just, we get pushed back further. And to be honest, that's pretty much the way I heard a lot of people talk from coming in, is that it is hard to get anything going on the island. And usually most people do get discouraged quite fast, but if they just hold out and, buy their time, it usually will work out. But it usually, like I said, it always takes time. And for us, we've been without the gym since 2011, that October. And not having consistent training, it's very unmotivating. You know what I mean? It's quite a blow. Going from everyday training at least 2 times a day, in a sense, to not being able to train, but maybe a few random times. And of course, we could always meet up and put a few mats together, and but there's nothing consistent. It's always just here and there. And it was really quite kind of frustrating, and not knowing what's going to happen with career-wise, because now I'm not able to train. It's like I hate, I don't want people want me to think I've just dropped off the face of the earth, but I got bigger things to look at, and I need to get the gym taken care of, and that way I can have the ability to get back to, competition shape and get back out there on the mat.
I'm actually glad that you did mention that. So that has been the reason for last couple of years that you haven't been as active is due to the fact that you relocated to Hawaii. And just another part of that is, what was the choice in Hawaii, to be honest? What was the reason for going there?
Well, me and Tracy, when we talked, whenever we were, deciding where we're going to go, and we were talking about, San Diego because Brandon Vera's there. Brandon and I, we started out together back in 2001 in Virginia Beach, and we go, I guess we have a very strong relationship. So we had discussed about going there. We had discussed maybe going to Guam again, and then or Hawaii. And Hawaii just it was where she wanted to go as far as because her family's from there. But it just happened to work out best in all aspects, in a sense, because Guam has its black belt. The team I was out there to help, and the guys are doing really well, and they have plenty black belts there. And I don't want to go and take anything from that's supporting their family, and I'm not trying to just kind of butt in and get a pay, not in a sense take money out of their pockets. So I didn't, there's not really room for me on that on there. As far as for me making a living for myself, and then San Diego, me and Tracy just we're not so much into the Cali's fun to visit for me, but it's just I lived there for a year at one point, and that year was enough. I just wasn't, a little bit too fast for me, and so Hawaii was it. It just worked out good. Her family's there, and we had a good opportunity. Kai Garcia was ready to, he was asking me to come teach, and so it was kind of cool that there was a want and a need. So that's how we ended up on Hawaii.
Nice, thank you very much. And for those that don't know, that's what you're saying. You're starting up your gym. I believe it's North Shore BJJ.
Yeah, North Shore Jiu-Jitsu Club.
Perfect. And I was just wondering, the real situation right now is the kids program, or is it both the kids and the adults? What it
is whenever 2010 we were we moved to Hawaii again, and I just happened to go. I wanted to go check out the local kids class. I heard there was a nonprofit that was running kids classes, and I thought, that'd be cool. Let's go check it out. So Tracy and I went. We brought our gis just in case. There might be we could actually get on the mat or something. And it just so happened the instructor, the girl that taught the classes, she just didn't show up. So the president of the nonprofit was there, and she was just, she's like, "Thank God you're here." I think she had recognized me from, just, the leopard hair kind of gives it away. But she had, and so she asked us to teach class, and we did, and so we got to talking, and I asked her, I was like, are you able to, hold adult classes as well with the nonprofit? And she's like, yeah, we can do anything. And so I had the idea. I was like, well, tell you what. When I showed up, the kids' class was like 20 kids, and they were on 3 of those zebra wall mats. So like it was in like one straight line. Like it was real weird. Like the kids really couldn't do anything because they only had a 6-foot wide space, and it was just it wasn't a correct mat for these kids to be doing jiu-jitsu safely. And so I offered. I was like, well, let me see what I can do, and I want to try to get a mat. And if I get the mat, can I hold adult classes? And she was like, yeah, so, or not, that was, I asked, but I ended up going through and getting the mat. We were denied the adult classes. The rec center wouldn't give us any more time. But we were able to teach still at the a local house. The gym's called the Boar's Nest. And we were there. So we were doing the adult classes there. And then I got the mat, and the kids' classes were going on with this other lady at the local rec center. And so now, jump forward, October, we lose the Boar's Nest. Now everything's at the rec center. Now I'd say maybe 3-4 months, maybe even longer, maybe 5 months prior to us losing the adult class, the girl quit the kids' class. She just dropped it on a Sunday. And so on that night, I got a phone call from the president of the nonprofit again asking, hey, can you teach class? And I wasn't ready to teach the kids class. I wanted to get the adult program really moving because, we were just kind of started. But I'm not going to let the kids die and, let the class just, go out like that. So I took over the class, and then, so October 2011, we lose the adults. And so now we're only with the kids. And I finally managed to get one night a week at the rec center for the adults, so they had Wednesday night. And then 2012, February, I was able to get a Saturday. So we had 2 times a week, 11:30 or 11 to 12:30. So within an hour and a half time, I had to lay the mats down, teach class, and put the mats up. So you can understand it's super frustrating. Like, not being able to train, not being able to have a proper class, 2 times a week, one night and one day. It was better than nothing, but it was still just, it was very hard because we were getting a lot of, the program was still growing, but people were there, but we just couldn't offer any more. There just was no time. And now, once all these Lloyd Irvin issues came out, the president of the nonprofit, she found out, and, it was nothing personal against me. She was just like, I do not want any kind of association with anything with that man. And I said, I completely understand. I was like, you realize, like, people are going to be upset. And she's like, I don't care. She's like, I think she just kind of wanted her own way out, which is cool because it would be nice to be able to take over everything ourselves like we're doing. But she said, you can continue to run the adult classes until you have the new nonprofit started. She's like, but no more kids, not on hers. So we had to cut the kids class, and so we still have the times at the rec center, but just no kids are allowed. So it's a little frustrating. So we still meet up with the more the competitive kids that do competitions. We still meet up with them like on random times. Like I said, we get together, put some mats down because I do want to keep them involved. I hate losing the kids to either another club because they can't train, or like I said, this whole fiasco is just really threw a wrench in things.
That's crazy. That's horrible. Were there any voices from the kids' parents that were upset or try to, basically fight to keep this, or has there not been that much support on the end for these kids?
We have plenty of support from the parents, and but they all whenever everything, even just from the first news breakout of the 2 students that were charged at Lloyd's, that I gave them a breakdown right then and there, like this is what's happened in the gym. And they kind of I told the parents, but I wouldn't like announce to the kids class. But I let them know, like, this is what's going on, and they don't, to be honest, not that they didn't care, but they weren't associating that with me at all. They know me, they know Tracy, they grew up with, she grew up with a lot of them, so, like, for them it was no big deal, but when the kids' classes were cut, they were upset, but then again, they understood, too. I didn't want the president of the nonprofit, she didn't deserve to be put on blast, you know what I mean? It's her nonprofit. I understand if, worst case scenario, like a lawsuit came back on her, I'd be upset too, just because just because of the association. So, and like I said, I'm very much more towards having my own, having, like I said, the nonprofit be under our names, and we have complete control. That way, it's not a burden on her to, get, because we still have to get her to do paperwork and things like that, and it's just much easier if I get to take over everything. So the parents, they understood. They're not they're not happy. That's why we said the ones that wanted to really train, we meet up with them, and then just on our own free time. And then the ones, and some of them are like, it's okay. We'll take a break. The kids train for over a year. They never really, we don't have a season, so it was no issue for the parents to, let them go surfing and take them skateboarding, let them just get some other activities in. And we actually encourage that. I don't want them to get burned out on jiu-jitsu either. So it wasn't really a negative backlash. I could have directed it that way by just, easily, but that's not the situation, and it was, let's just, get it back on track. I'm not worried about anything else.
Nice. How long have you not been affiliated with Lloyd Irvin? Because it seems pretty crazy that this kind of backlashes all the way to Hawaii and falls on you a bit.
We left, I would say maybe like January, February of last year. We already started our gym, and it was my decision from the beginning on my gym. It was not going to be, even though we hadn't left, I was not going to be Lloyd Irvin. I wasn't, I just didn't like that idea. It just didn't sit with me well. There was no support from him, so I'm not going to, support him with my gym either. And I just like the idea of keeping the gym its own entity, not I didn't, not nothing against people who use their name in their own gym, but I just didn't want that on me. I've been burned by it, so I'm going to take a different route. That's why we chose North Shore Jiu-Jitsu Club rather than, like Mike Fowler Jiu-Jitsu or anything like that. Like, I don't want to put my name on it. I want it, if I move on and we have, other students there, you know what I mean? It stays the students in a sense. It's always, the people that train there. It's their gym. And, like I said, yeah, it was maybe about a year ago, we talked to the Mendez brothers, and we were very close to them. We trained with them a few times, and they came to Hawaii. We trained with them here, and they hung out with us, and we wanted to train with them for the Worlds. And when they were talking to Andre and Angelica, they're like, it's not fair, mainly on Tracy's part, because these girls are going to be in her division. So, like, do you guys mind being part of the team? And we talked about it, and we thought it'd be a great decision. But I let them know up front. I was like, we will definitely support you guys. As far as supporting Atos and whatnot in the tournament when we train with you guys. But I told them, I don't feel right I'm not going to make my gym Atos. My gym is North Shore Jiu-Jitsu Club, and when we do our tournaments here, we're North Shore Jiu-Jitsu Club. When we go to California and we train with those guys, I give them that respect, and I'm gonna represent the team accordingly. But like I said, we kind of, that was a discussion in the beginning. It was, I don't feel like almost like I'd be not franchising, but I don't want to open up an Atos gym because I wasn't brought up through that. I'm just gonna start my own and do my own thing, and like I said, support those guys still. So then that's how we have that bond with them now, and with Andre. And like I said, it's really great because for me, I still need that my butt kicked. I need to be corrected. And Andre is just awesome. Just super great guy. He'll do anything for you, and I really appreciate having him because I can just feel the love. You know what I mean? I feel the he really genuinely wants to help, and it's really awesome. So we've had a good experience with that.
Nice, and I'll bring up Atos again, but later on, if you don't mind. I would like to just ask you, what is it that you need now that you want to start? You wanted to start, or you have? I don't know yet if you started it or you want to your own non-for-profit, right? Correct, you and
right.
Tracy. Has this begun yet?
Yeah, we've already, as far as getting the paperwork in, and then that letter was pretty much what happened is, like I said, once we took a hit with the gym in 2011 when we lost the adults, that was a big chunk of our income. The nonprofit paid our rent, and the following, not everybody knows, but the following month we lost our house because I can't afford my rent. I don't have any way to, the kids nonprofit at the time was there, wasn't really. There wasn't a lot of donations coming in. It wasn't able to sustain itself in a sense. And plus, we had fees that we had to pay the rec center at this time because they lost they didn't lose their director. She just quit, and they didn't rehire anyone. So since they weren't paying someone to be there, I had to pay someone to be there. So we had all these extra fees, and it was just bad timing on everything. So we lost our house. Then we're staying with Tracy's auntie for a little bit, staying with her grandmother's for a bit. Finally able to get ourselves into another place, but then it was, wasn't able to stay there. Like I had to travel. Like right now, I'm in Tahiti, doing work with the gym here, helping them, teaching them how to teach the classes, kind of just showing them the steps, while, their highest rank is a purple belt. And, but I had to, find a way to, without getting a regular job to continue to, do jiu-jitsu and find an income for us. And, that's pretty much so. The letter, like I said, I don't have any startup cash. I don't have good credit. I don't have anything. I'm not able to get a loan. So it's, and with the nonprofit, it's not like, we just, you're eligible for donations, but it's really hard to get donations. You gotta, people gotta want to donate to you. And us being so new, we don't have, besides my own personal things, we don't have a whole lot of things that the club has done to get, recognition. So for people to want to donate, to get us started up. So that's pretty much what it is. It's covering the cost of the new nonprofit, like the insurances and things like that, as far, that we have to get in place, just so we, keep everybody safe that does come in and train, whether it be equipment, anything. Like we're, I always say I'm asking like Zebra or Dahlimer if they're able to. I have mats, but I know it's going to have some awkward pieces that I'm going to need, and like the wall mats. And these are all things I could get over time. But like I said, if anyone's able to help out with it, because like I said, we have no startup. We move in June, and just the way it worked out, the building that we're going into, the real estate doesn't even have a key. They've always had kind of issues with the current tenant and, not being able to get a hold of them. And they don't move out till the day, right before I move in. So I don't even get to see what everything's going to be like. I'm just kind of going into it and have to be able to get some classes going to try to generate, first month's rent, so, and keep up with it. So it's something I don't doubt we'll be able to do by ourselves within given 3 to 6 months just to get going. But just to get going is the main thing. I want to make sure that, there's no, setbacks and whatnot, especially with, getting the insurance and the rent and all those things taken care of, just so we can, finally get an actual schedule.
So we're talking insurance, rent, mats, equipment.
And the equipment's not a necessity. It's just if somebody has like say, I don't know, old kettlebells or a Bulgarian bag, anything that the guy, that we could use in the gym, that, anything like that. I'm not, I could care less if it's, brand new, used, weights. That way it's not like I said, it's just, like I said, I have the mat, but that's all I've got is the mat. And, now we've got to get, supplies and whatnot. If, I don't know what kind of work has to be done with the, walls, or do we got to move anything? So it's like, it's kind of a guess right now. I couldn't even give there's no number, just anything pretty much helps.
All right. So let's say people are listening right now, and obviously they are, and there'll be tons of people listening after to this. How can they help out? Let's say we're listening. Damn, I want to help Mike out. I want this thing to get going. Where can people help out?
Well, I can be contacted easiest at northshorebjj@gmail.com, and then I have a PayPal set up, and I have one of the fundraising websites. I did the PayPal because the fundraising ones take a huge chunk, like pretty much almost 10% of whatever you donate goes to them instead of. So I use the PayPal and just I've been telling people, I've been trying to get everybody just to really write me personally. I don't feel comfortable. Like I said, I was kind of iffy about writing the letter, and I'd rather be able to thank everyone personally. Check out who they are if they have a Facebook. Just to kind of, like I said, I don't want them to go I don't want them just donating and then being, kind of lost in the crowd. I would like to be able to personally thank everybody afterwards when we get everything going, just because they are really helping out a whole lot. So I have the PayPal set up. That's at MikeFowlerTV.com. As far as the email for that, but really, like I said, northshorebjj@gmail.com is my personal email address, and there they can ask me anything as far as how to donate, or what if they have equipment, or we're doing pretty good on gis. OTM and Tatami really they help out a lot. OTM has donated countless gis to me, so I'm doing okay with the getting the gis in, especially like for the adults and the kids, and we have that's not really been too big of an issue. But like I said, anything else we can really use. There's stuff I haven't heard of. If you have something it's old and don't use it no more, like I said, let us know and we'll see. We can. I'm pretty sure we can use anything.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I hope people hit you up at northshorebjj.com or at MikeFowler.com or MikeFowlerTV.com website, either or, like you said. Yeah, man. I think definitely. I think we have one of the best community as far as sport goes. BJJ is, as big as the sport's getting, it's still pretty like, the 7 degrees of separation. Everyone seems to know somebody that knows somebody. So hopefully we could all help out with this great cause. Is getting the kids program something on your list that you want to get back?
Oh, of course. I mean, that's our, like I said, that's our biggest program. I would say on the mat, just over 40 kids in class, and that's 3 times a week, and that was really nice. And it was, so many of the kids, like, they didn't have an activity before. They do surfing or they do this, but they weren't really like in love with nothing. And the parents are just, they just love how, what jiu-jitsu does. It opens the kids up. It gives them confidence and self-esteem. So, the parents see this for weight loss. So we had a lot of good results and a lot of good positive stories. and then you get the kids are now competing, and so those play a special role in our lives as well, within the gym. And so it's like, man, I want to get them back into it. They're as big of a part of the gym as the adults. I can't imagine not having the kids class for any other, there's no reason not to have them for us. And for it to be something, like this, to get them out of there is just super frustrating. You know what I mean? I was super irritated, in the beginning when she did it, but I had to sit back and take the, whole thing in perspective. But no, it's definitely something I want back, ASAP. I want to get it. That's the first thing. So that way the kids can come back in, because it takes a little time to get approved. So I'm hoping, it can take anywhere from a month, 2 to 3 months to get that, just the kids, the new one started and the kids approved on it. So I want to get it put in right away. That way, at least that's covered. As soon as they can go, I can get them right back on the mat.
Nice. Glad to hear that. What does it say about how do you have this energy? You're still smiling. You're not. How do you go on and not just people? A lot of people would just quit. Say, "Fuck it, I tried. Everything's shitting on me." And, that's it. I try my best and blah, blah, blah. What makes you get up and say, you know what, I'm not stopping. I'm going to get this back on track and I'm going to make things work?
I mean, to be honest, I hit those points. I was, I was debating on moving. I was thinking of going to a different island. The people that were closest to me even were like, man, just give up. Be realistic. And it's like, in essence, F realistic. No, like I've never lived that way. You know what I mean? It's not, and being realistic doesn't mean that you just have to think of everything happening in a basic sort of way. Man, I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful. Yes, things don't go my way, but it doesn't stop me. You know what I mean? I'm disappointed, of course, just like anybody would be, but it's not a nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? I'm not dead. I have a great wife. I have a son. I have a house. I mean, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? It's not to the point where, but I tell you, like I said, it was, but the with no training and not having, I tell you, I did reach those points that do I get a regular job? Do I just do I really, like switch career paths completely? Is this going to even be possible? So, I mean, yeah, all kind of thoughts are going through my head, but, just kept pushing for it, and like I said, now something's finally happening. Like I said, now we're just super pumped that we stuck it out, and really excited. Like I said, next year's Worlds, that's my goal. That's the next. I'm definitely going to be there for that one. I want to compete as much as I can up until that point, but I decided this year was the year to get the gym together and really make a push, and if it goes through, it goes through. It don't, and it's going through. So now I can get right to training, get the classes going, and keep these dreams going, these goals that we have to reach.
That's awesome. For people, oh man, you lose the dream. Like you said, you're in Tahiti right now, and you could just go around and travel and do seminars. Is that actually the dream? Traveling around, teaching all over the world, being away from your home, like. Is it as great as people like to make it seem, or is it a rough life actually, depending on going around the globe teaching jiu-jitsu seminars?
To be honest, it depends on your situation. Like for me right now, it is great. And like you look at it from one aspect, man, I get to be in Tahiti for 2 weeks. I don't have really any responsibility but training and doing whatever I want. It's a great thing, but yeah, it's not. For me, I would much rather be home with my boy, with Trace. And going on the trips when they're just kind of random and here and there, but when they're kind of forced like they are now, not like they were twisting my arm to come here, but I have to leave. I'm not gonna be. I don't have a gym. I don't have any money coming in. We need to pay for food. We need to pay for rent. We got car payment. All these regular life things that jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu don't pay well. You know what I mean? There's no money in the tournaments. All being a world champion does is you get your name down and you get a gold medal, and that's it. There is no. There's not. You don't instantly have this like Abu Dhabi. Of course, those are the money ones. That's where you're going to at least earn some income, but. as far as like day-to-day life, I have to leave. And it is, like I said, I'm very, blessed to have this type of, or to be able to have these contacts to, bring me out to Tahiti or bring me to Ireland. And I wouldn't give it up for the world, because to be honest, most of the time when we do it, I try to figure out a way I can bring Tracy and my boy, and then we have, we make family trips out of it. Ends up really being a good experience. And but like I said, being away from home when more than I have to is, if the gym was steady and wouldn't have to worry like this, it wouldn't be so bad. But it does take its toll. But I can't be mad. You know what I mean? I think, like, I'm not comparing myself to a military service, but in no way. But the guys who have to really be away from their family for X amount of time, I can't complain. If I gotta go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go, make some money, then hey, that's what I had to do. And then be happy I can go home in that short amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's unreal. Thank you, by the way, for being so open and honest. I don't know if a lot of people actually tell the truth all the time, so it's really refreshing, even though it's not always the greatest subject matter, but it is appreciated actually hearing someone be honest and open with what's going on. Autos just acquired, I don't want to say acquired, but they got some new members joining up with Keenan and JT Torres, which I think obviously know JT Torres before. One, what do you think this does to the dynamics of Autos as a whole? And when do you plan on getting out there and being able to train with the group again? And what does that do for you as a competitor and as the Autos as a whole team?
Man, I tell you, the energy inside that place, like right now during these training camps, is unbelievable. And I had a really good, me and JT, we were really good friends. And when I left, it did create a little bit of a split. Not so much with JT, like there was an awkwardness, but after he split, it was like, man, I got my friend back. And it was like we could just be, I could finally talk to this guy again, because that manipulation was strong. You know what I mean? It really. And, to the point where, like I said, I didn't even leave on bad terms and I was outcasted. So it was really, good. I was really pumped. And I don't have any experience with Keenan. He seems like an awesome guy. From what I've heard, his jiu-jitsu's nuts. From what I've watched, his jiu-jitsu's nuts. So that's really cool. I look forward to training with him. But the one thing about Autos is, you've heard like the saying, if you want to be a millionaire, if you hang around 5 millionaires, you're bound to be the sixth. Same thing, world champion. You want to be a world champion, you need to be training with world champions, and you need to be hanging out. Not that you can't do it without them, but when you have, Andre, Hafa, Guy, Caporal, Davi Ramos, Calasanz, we had Marcos Souza, Satoshi, Ari, JT, the list goes on and on. It's like, when it's just a ass kicking every freaking round, it's amazing. I think I take these huge leaps and bounds when I go there, because it's, I go back to being a student. I become the nail. I'm just getting my butt kicked left and right. You know what I mean? You may have one good position here and there, but the rest is just like, holy crap. And it's wonderful, because I don't get that. I don't get that when I'm in Hawaii. I don't get the constant beat down, I think that's where the real growth comes from. You got to get, just like the bush, you got to prune it back. You got to get rid of some, and so it can grow back stronger. And it really, I can't wait to get the next time I go out there. Maybe I couldn't really give you an honest date. Once the gym's going, then I can give a better answer. That's really all I'm focused on right now. I told myself this year was to get the gym going. So haven't really dealt with myself and going, when I'm going to be going and train with those guys. But it'll, like I said, definitely next year's. Back on the competition circuit for sure, and I'm getting myself in shape for that now, so it's not starting from ground zero. I'm going to be in shape, ready to rock, going into the tournament scene. Now let's start, being able to travel and work on the technique and do all those things. So at least I'll have, all the things I can take care of and be in control of now, I will.
Nice. And it seems like you get excited while talking about being the nail. Now, getting my ass whooped also on the mats, does it ever seem like, and I'm not even close to your level, so at your level, is it weird to get beat and destroyed on the mats? That actually excites you, or is it ever disheartening? Like, do you question how good you really are, or you'll do in comps when you get your butt kicked, or do you know that's just you're not going to face any better in competition than you are in your own gym?
You pretty much said every single feeling I get.
Okay.
You know, there's days where it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that was great. You know what I mean? I got my butt kicked, but I felt really good. And then there's days like, I remember one time I was training with JT, and I don't know if you know about JT's grip, but it's just nuts. It's the worst thing ever. I could never break it. And I remember I was trying to pop his grip off. I'm like, you know, grunting into it. And I give it my all, and nothing happened. And it was, and that messed me up. You know what I mean? It was really disheartening. Like, dude, this guy, like, and then I just, you know, fall into whatever submission he took me into, and it's like, man, he really broke me down, you know. But it's, you know, later on, you know, you kind of get back on your feet about it. But yeah, it's like I said, it's every emotion, like you said. It's you know, there's days when the beatings are okay, and there's days when the beating's disheartening. It's like, especially like even like, you know, when you get 3, 4, 5 in a row, it's like, dude, did I pay attention in class ever? So, but I definitely welcome it, because not having it will make you appreciate it.
Nice. So, I know you said that focusing on your gym is your main concern right now, and after that's taken care of, what are some comps that you're looking on doing? One thing is that black belt that you still have to accomplish, because you reach black belt very quick. You already had success as a black belt, which is, you know, it doesn't happen to everyone wants to become a black belt. You're already a name and a big fish in that division in my eyes. So what are some goals you still have personally that you want to accomplish?
Well, the world championship, that's been number one for a very long time, and that's always the main one. And to be honest, besides that one, I don't really have any other aspirations in jiu-jitsu. I would love to be able to go and do the Abu Dhabi Worlds, but it's like I said, the only real goal I ever had was the World Championships, the OG, the IBJJF, the original, and but like I said, it doesn't stop me from wanting to compete in the other ones or have any less, you know, desire to win those. But everything for me, I really look at in preparation for the CBJJ or, you know, the IBJJF one, you know, and that's, you know, about to happen. But I want to do the Pan Ams again. I would like to do the Brazilian Nationals. To be honest, I would like to compete more in Brazil. That would be really, I still think, as much jiu-jitsu as there is in America, if you really love the sport, you need to go to Brazil. You need to go there. You need to experience it, because the jiu-jitsu is different there. To me, it's way ahead. Of course, it's getting ahead here too, but that's because we have so much Brazilians here bringing it up in a sense. You know, just the level there, just the competition there. I really miss that. That was my favorite thing. Like, I wish the worlds would kind of move around or go back and forth or something, just so it could still have that feel like it did, you know, from 2006 and before. I was one thing I really missed, but pretty much just like you know, the main ones like Brazilian Nationals, Pan Ams, Worlds. Definitely want to do the Abu Dhabi trials again and go for the Abu Dhabi Pro Worlds. Mainly everything in the gi, not too much. Not having looked, you know, I'm not so big into the no gi. I never, you know, not that I don't enjoy it, but it's never been my focus or anything ever.
Nice, great. Good luck to winning those. I'm always rooting for you when I see you on the mats. Real quick, you know, I was on the internet the other day, and I see Lucky Gi has this Mike Fowler signature series gi out. The inside of the gi actually has your hair pattern. How did this come about?
Well, that's funny, because that's been a lot. Everybody's been bringing it up because they're like, I thought you were sponsored by Tatami. And then like, now you have a Lucky Gi. Like, and Scott from OTM, Lucky Gi, we've gone back. I mean, you're talking 2002, I think. And so, you know, we've seen each other for years, became friends. even though it's never been like an official, I would say, sponsorship, he's always supported me. He's, whether it be with clothes and I always try to support him back, patches on my gi, shorts, T-shirts, whatever I can. Some shorts I have, they're my OTM shorts, my favorite ones that Tracy keeps trying to throw away. And it's like, no. I'm a huge supporter of him. And a while back, he, after, I don't know, maybe the Jeff Glover gi or one of the ones came out, it was probably a few years ago. He was like, hey, let's do a Mike Fowler gi. He always had a leopard print idea in the inside. That was always the concept. And he's like, man, so we got together, got some design work going, and so they, and it was on like, hey, let's just do this. It was not like, hey, I'm gonna do this, so you're gonna, you gotta rock it, you gotta wear it. He's like, he's like, man, I don't care if you wear it. He's like, we just wanna, I want to help you out, want to hook you up, and so I mean, like I said, he's super awesome, really good support, and I let Tatami know that, of course, before I, linked up with them. I was like, just in case, just so you guys know, I do have a gi that's coming out. It was way in the works, way ahead before I ever talked to you guys, and they're super cool. The guys at Tatami are great. Like, to be honest, the Lucky gi, the Lucky gi and the Tatamis that's really the only gis I ever even wear. I really enjoy that bamboo weave the Lucky gi has, and the cut Tatami has been it reminds me of the Game This Pearl, the original one back in, like 04, and I like that one a lot, or 03. I really like that one a lot, so it's nice to, have a nice little selection of gis to go through.
Man, it's definitely a sharp-looking gi. Above your name, though, they might have started this nickname. I don't know if that's already your nickname, but Crazy Mike Fowler. That
was
I don't know if this is
from Fokai. He every time he teamed me, it was never Mike. It was just always Crazy Mike Fowler. That was how he would always say hello, introduce me on the phone, and so it just felt fitting for the gi.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. And speaking of sponsors, maybe you could shout out everyone that you're sponsored by and whoever's helping you. Maybe give them a little plug real quick, and also take a time to. Websites or whatever else you want to promote right now.
Well, sure. We'll start off. Fokai has been a huge, supporter of our club. Ever since I've been in Guam. If you haven't ever seen their stuff, it's fokaistuff.com, Fokai stuff.com. They have really good things, and he's always doing, supporting all kind of activities for any group. So he's really a good guy. So. Highly recommend if you haven't seen any of that stuff, to go check it out. Tatami, OTM, Tracy sponsors have been really helpful. Our Control, CTRL, they've been helping us out and really, trying to help us with get the gym going. 3150 has been a huge supporter of us. Derek, he comes out to Hawaii, always comes check us out, and really thankful we have a lot of good guys that are looking out for us. Who else? Don't want to forget anybody. I can't think. That's not it by no means, but I'd say those are the biggest standouts that have been for the club so far.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll think of it once we get off the show and just kick yourself, but that's how it always happens. By the way, just so you know, when we first started this show, I wrote out a list of everybody that I had to interview, and your name was written right away. When I first started jiu-jitsu in 2008, you don't know much. I go back and try to learn the history, and I'm looking for DVDs were scarce, and I happened to buy half a die. And, yeah, back in 2008. I barely knew anything about jiu-jitsu. I pop it in. I see this crazy-haired guy in Guam. I'm like, who's Mike Fowler? But I'm watching this DVD, and I've been a fan ever since. So I just want you to know that.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so, it's pretty cool, that we're talking right now. It's like you've always been one of my favorites to watch it, ever since I learned about you and the sport. And do you have anything similar? What was your breakthrough, and who did you start watching when you started and said, oh shit, look at this guy, someone you could relate to, or stylistically, or anything like that?
Now you're talking about 2008 with DVDs were scarce. Now go back to 2001, 2002, DVDs were scarce. VHS was around. But it was, the Ted Day was one, like, his style. I don't believe I can emulate his style very well, but his style inspired me. I took a few pieces of movements that he did. I learned from a seminar from being with him, and really, those are the things I incorporated in my game forever. But he was one that I really, like I said, just inspired me to be, just be better. Shaolin was most of these guys I ended up having to meet to learn anything. Like I said, there was no YouTube. Internet was AOL dial-up still. So there was no videos, and VHS was, like I said, unless you're getting the ones from Brazil or from OTM, there wasn't a whole lot. And Shaolin was a good one. He really influenced my game in the beginning, giving me the Bravo and working on a lot of my butterfly guard things. And I would say a little bit of Margarita. I really liked his passing style. But I think those are my the most favorite guys to watch, just as far as wanting to copy and be like, and just having a really good just enjoyed their style the most, I'd say.
Amazing. And last thing before, actually two more things, just real quick. On Facebook, we put out a question: who are the greatest American grapplers right now? And like Lister and Glover and Bill Cooper and the Boogeyman, Dean Lister, and everything got named around. And Jeff Glover jumped on, and he actually named you. What do you think about, in talks from someone like him and just the general public, you being named as some of the best to ever, obviously Rafael Lovato Jr., I got to name him real quick, being named amongst these people?
It's awesome. I mean, to be honest, when we were coming up, and I realize now, a lot of people aren't, they're not naming my name because I'm just not I'm not doing anything right now, and it's a little bit unmotivating in that sense too, like not to be still in the scene and being not to say recognized, but just like I said, when we were coming up, it was Lovato, me, Jeff, Cooper. And of course there was a few others. Ryan Hall was the next generation. He wasn't coming up quite the same time.
That's right.
And but we're the first crop, and to be honest, man, all those guys are freaking just amazing jiu-jitsu guys. So like Lovato, he's the most accomplished American there is right now. Winning the Worlds, winning the Brazilian Nationals, the Absolute. That guy's awesome. He's doing everything. What do you call it? Glover's always been that guy's like my brother. We've trained together. We've been around the scene from forever and ever, and no matter what, I can always call him for anything. And like I said, he's always got me in mind. He's always calling me after or talking to me after his matches and whatnot. And like I said, it's really cool. Just like you said, those guys, they're icons in the sport just as well. And if I am one, I am. But just even like have them mention it's cool. It's to be up there with them. It's a good feeling for sure.
Awesome. And last thing, I like to end the show on having the guest leave us with maybe a story or anything, like a breakthrough moment for you, or something, advice that you've been given by someone that kind of changed the course of your jiu-jitsu career or path. Like we always have that one moment where someone might have just, either it was just a little comment, they didn't know how much weight it held, or advice or anything along those lines.
I would say I'd only been a black belt a short period at this point, and I was living in Guam, and if you don't know, my black belt out there is Steve Roberto, and he was already brown when I arrived at the gym, but after just over a year, we were solid training every day. To the point where, like, dude, you're not a brown belt no more. And with Ensign's blessing, I was able to promote him to black belt. And even though he was my black belt, he was somebody I would always look up to. Like he was more like my big brother in a sense. I go to him for anything. Still, he's always the man for I'd say the most sound advice. And I had these string of losses as black belt, and they weren't just losses. They were 0-0 losses. I was just so frustrated. And, I'm in the absolute division. And no matter what, it was, when you're going against the referee and the opponent, you know what I mean? And, it's like, man, I'm already 100 pounds lighter than this dude. You know what I mean? I've already gotten 2 advantages easy from tipping him over, and he's done nothing, and then he still gets his hand raised at the end. I understand I should have done something if I wanted to win, but I just had all these just beat-down matches, and then the next one, fly all the way to Brazil, have the most ridiculously horrible Brazil trip, and end up losing 2-0 my first match to a guy who just dove in as I pulled guard, got a quick 2, and literally for 9 minutes and 58 seconds sat with locked hands around my waist. And it was just like, I just had all these frustrating losses, and I was really, like I said, questioning what do I do? Is it worth it? And the words he said that just kind of always stuck in my head and changed everything was, fall down 7, get up 8. And, it was just something super, over the phone, because I was, I think I was still in Brazil at this point when I had called him, just, broken down, didn't know what else to do. And it was just something simple that just made me feel better about it for whatever reason. I don't know why, but, you know what I mean? It's like, I just always try to find a positive thing. And, as long as I fight my best, I'm not really that upset about a loss, but it was just, no matter what, I'm going to keep getting back up. I'm not going to, lay down. And I just, like I said, there's just those little words, and maybe coming from him is what made the difference too. Maybe, coming from someone else might not have meant the same, but fall down 7, get up 8 was just a really, that was just the few words that really just made a big difference in how I looked at the competition and everything else.
Nice. And you could apply that just to life in general. That's great advice.
Yeah. Super simple.
Well, unreal. Mike, this is the end of the show. I'd like to thank you very much for, taking time out and talking with myself and BJJ ADDICT Radio and Fight Fans Radio. And it's been a pleasure. And once again, before we end this, just your emails that people could hit you up and inquire more, or perhaps actually make a difference and help out your non-for-profit organization.
Yeah, just to keep it simple, if anyone is interested in donating or any questions about the nonprofit, or even if you're strolling through to Hawaii, I don't have a mat fee. I don't believe in it. I think it's garbage. A mat fee, if you're traveling to Hawaii, that's expensive enough as it is. Come train. You're more than welcome to come train for free. And just have a good trip with it. But northshorebjj@gmail.com. Like I said, that's my personal email. So, like I said, any questions, anything I can do to help, or if you're looking to help yourself, like I said, just feel free, and then right away.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Enjoy your rest of your trip in Tahiti, and good luck in the future. And thank you very much.
Yes. Hey, thank you so much.
It was a pleasure talking.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to BJJ ADDICT Radio. That was Mike Fowler. Next week, we got the Westside Strangler, Chris Brennan, coming on, announcing some big news about himself. We might have another guest. We might not. And also locked in, I'm going to announce it right now so people can get excited for this. A man who contributed, a lot of his time to promoting the sport and educating everyone on BJJ. Stephen Kesting, he's been releasing DVDs for the better part of 10 years and nonstop blogs, his own radio show. Yeah, man. Stephen Kesting's on. He will be on June 4th on that episode, so get ready for that, guys. In between, we'll have some other guests announced by then, but he's already a lock-in, and if you don't know him, Google his name, man. He's definitely one of my favorite people's promoting the sport of BJJ right now. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I want everyone to hang tight and enjoy your night. And thank you once again for listening and supporting us. Please subscribe to us. Follow us on Twitter, BJJ ADDICT Radio, BJJ ADDICT, BJJ ADDICT TV, Fight Fans Radio. That's it. Thank you very much. Good night. Sleep tight. We out of here.